The year is 2013, and actor, comedian, writer, director, and rapper Donald Glover is at a crossroads. Coming hot off the heels of his classic role of Troy Barnes in Community, an amazing Comedy Central special, and signing on to create what many consider to be his magnum opus in FX's Atlanta, he was reaching unprecedented heights for someone who rose to prominence off a YouTube sketch group. Behind the scenes though, Glover was building an entirely separate career, one that would pull from his comedy, writing, and directing abilities as he built worlds through hip-hop. Having released a slew of mixtapes and a debut album already, Glover, under his alias Childish Gambino, had built a sizable cult fan base, and while many look back at his early releases fondly through nostalgia goggles, most would agree that his 2013 sophomore album, Because the Internet, was the turning point. And even though it doesn't stray too far from his previous work with the one-liners and fantastic production from then unknown tour de force producer Ludwig Göransson, Glover succeeds most in building the world of Because the Internet. 10 years removed from the album's release, it's easy to look back at Because the Internet's success as a walk in the park for the guy who made tracks like This Is America, shows like Atlanta, and inspired one of the most iconic modern comic book characters. But in 2013, it still seemed odd that Glover was leaving a supporting role on a primetime sitcom. Even though many assumed his departure from Community was solely because he wanted to pursue music full-time, Glover reflected on the fact that he mainly just wanted more independence in his work. While Childish Gambino wasn't the only left-of-center hip-hop artist in 2013 to release a world around an album, with Tyler the Creator's sophomore album Wolf coming out months prior, Glover's dedication to utilizing all of his skills and create a multimedia experience led to Because the Internet being wholly unique. Not everything pans out perfectly. The 73-page screenplay that was bundled with some vinyl copies and he released on his website works fine as a listening companion, but the various visuals released help paint a better picture of what Glover was going for. Where Tyler's world for Wolf is direct with skits and characters and a pretty clear storyline, Childish Gambino's character of The Boy is left purposefully vague. He trash talks celebrities on Twitter and posts videos to World Star, as many did in 2013, but Because the Internet's story is more about creating a backdrop than telling a narrative, and its intricacies just distract from the music. That's kind of the point though, with dissection of Because the Internet leading mostly nowhere. Why does the boy do what he does? Why are there aliens in the music videos? What is Roscoe's wetsuit? The phrase plastered throughout the screenplay and on visuals and on billboards. Because the Internet. His commentary on reposting whatever just because everyone else is reposting it and trying to find meaning in nothing is thin to say the least, but it created a supplemental conversation around the music. And while making a whole world that's kind of about nothing wouldn't work for music that doesn't hold up, Childish Gambino's Because the Internet became one of the most influential and important albums of the 2010s. Around this time, Childish Gambino's approach to music of being heady while not taking himself too seriously led to a vibe that set the tone for a lot of younger artists. Artists like Kevin Abstract and Jaden Smith, who similarly built worlds around their music through visuals and expansive art pieces, credit Glover's approach as being incredibly influential to their early careers, and you can easily see how they were inspired. Because the Internet's blend of R&B and rap, Glover's singing, and Ludwig's production feel miles ahead of his previous output. And while he obviously wears his influences on his sleeve here, the album is home to classics like Sweatpants, 3005, World Star, and The Worst Guys that still remain some of his greatest work to date. And while many look back at this phase of Glover's career as him still figuring it out and believe it doesn't hold up, the Because the Internet era set the tone for what would come next. The world of Atlanta is remarkably similar to the worlds he built here, and even though there are some definite lowlights in his lyricism, to me the album lives in this sort of state of suspended animation. It paints such a great picture of the landscape of music in 2013, with the internet becoming the premier way to promote yourself, the album cover being a GIF, and the cheeky one-liners that littered the lyrics, and in my eyes it'll always remain a classic. Because the Internet's top 10 Billboard release and its Grammy nominations caused the public's reevaluation of Childish Gambino and set the rest of his career into motion. Even though he would ditch rap completely on his next studio album, Awaken My Love, and has grown dramatically as an artist in the last 10 years, Because the Internet undeniably showed the public that Donald Glover was more than a side character and more than an actor turned rapper. Let me know where Because the Internet ranks for you, and thanks so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you liked the video, and I'll see you in the next one.